Everyone saw the score, but they didn't see this coming. The Chicago Sky fell 79-74 to the Las Vegas Aces on August 25, a 5-point margin that hides a much bigger story. Because after one broken fast break, Angel Reese turned and let a teammate hear it. And by the next day, a wave of reports said the league hit her with a fine, the kind that stings your wallet and your locker room at the same time. Here's the part that matters. Chicago isn't just fighting the Aces. They're fighting their own timeline. The Sky head west for 2 road games in 3 days. Phoenix on Thursday, Seattle on Saturday. Every minute matters. Every touch matters. And yes, every moment on camera matters. Roll it back to Monday night. The Aces seized control late. Jackie Young slicing up the mid-range. Aya Wilson closing windows on the glass. The Sky clawed and hustled, but the scoreboard said what it said. In the middle of that pressure, a long rebound kicked out and Chicago ran. Numbers looked good. The pass never came. Reese, who already had double-double work on the boards, snapped. She barked at her guard as the possession died. 10 seconds of frustration, but 10 seconds that followed her into Tuesday. That's where the discipline conversation starts. Across the league, conduct detrimental isn't just a legal phrase. It's a signal. The message is simple. Keep the heat inside the huddle. When it spills onto the floor and into the feeds, the league notices. So do opponents. So do sponsors. And so do teammates who have to line up again 2 nights later. Why did this moment hit so hard? Because of the context Chicago is living in. 2 days earlier, cameras caught Reese doing the opposite, playing peacemaker. When head coach Tyler Marsh exploded at officials and got tossed against the sun, Reese grabbed him and tried to pull him back. One night, she's restraining her coach. 2 nights later, she's unloading on a teammate. That is what pressure looks like when a season gets tight. And it was a special night in Chicago for another reason. Candace Parker's jersey retirement gave the building a pulse before tip. The Sky wanted to honor a standard: toughness, poise, big moment maturity. For most of the game, they found pieces of it. But late game possessions against champions are a stress test. The Aces executed, the Sky cracked. If you zoom out, the meltdown frame doesn't come out of nowhere. It sits on top of a week of emotion, a ceremony, a coach ejection, and a team that needs wins right now. Let's talk basketball first. Reese put up 10 and 17 on the Aces. More paint touches, more second chances, and another record step in her first 2 seasons. The glass work travels. But when your offense stalls, frustration travels too. A missed read on a 2-on-1 isn't just a blown chance. It's a trust leak. When a star feels ignored in the flow, voices escalate. When that happens on camera, it becomes a storyline before you hit the tunnel. The stakes are real. Chicago's rotation is thin, their margin is thinner, and the West trip is unforgiving. Phoenix on Thursday, then Seattle on Saturday, both with size and tempo swings that stress your decision-making. The Sky need every possession to be clean. A league fine won't change a single set on the whiteboard, but it will change the tone of every conversation until the next final buzzer. That's the hidden cost. Time spent explaining, not executing. Now, what does a league fine actually mean in practice? It means the office saw behavior that crossed the line they want public. It also means officials and opponents know you're on edge. Expect early whistles if chatter starts again. Expect opponents to test your patience. Hard hedges, extra hands, tactical bumps on the break. Pressure isn't just in the fourth quarter. It's in the first 5 possessions on the road. There's a hero versus pressure frame here. The villain isn't a person. It's Chicago's own control under stress. Reese is the engine. Elite rebounding rate, extra possessions, tone-setting energy. The pressure is the system around her. Turnover timing, guard decisions on the break, late-game shot diet, and the emotional carryover between games. When the engine pushes too hard without alignment, it sputters. When it aligns, the Sky look like a team no one wants at the rim. What about the teammate moment itself? That's the part fans keep replaying. A young group, a new coach, a high-profile star, and a play that begged for a simple pass. Veteran teams have a rule. Fix it on the fly, fix it in the huddle, fix it on film. You almost never fix it by pointing in the open floor. The fix now is only one thing: win the next game and make the clip look like a footnote, not a trend. But there's a second layer. 2 nights, 2 different emotional roles for Reese. Peacemaker, then agitator. That swing tells you the locker room is running hot. And hot rooms can go one of two ways. They combust, or they forge a tougher edge. The difference is leadership and clarity. Who gets the first touch after a defensive board? What is the call in 2-for-1 time? Who leads the huddle when the whistle goes against you? Those answers lower the temperature and shrink the number of crisis clips. Here's the mid-video reveal. The outburst looked like a one-off, but it fits a pattern of friction points Chicago has been skirting all month. A coach ejection that forced the bench to steady the group. A heavy emotional ceremony that can drain focus after halftime. A schedule that pushes travel and recovery. And a star whose rebounding is historic, whose expectation of the ball is sky-high, and whose patience can run short when the simple read isn't made. Put it together, and you get a team that doesn't just need a tactical tweak, it needs a trust reset. So what does Fix It by Thursday look like? First, a scripted early touch for Reese to set the floor energy without forcing it. High-low with Cardoso, or a quick duck-in after a guard screen to make the pass automatic. Second, guard rules on the break. One advanced dribble, eyes middle, deliver early or bounce to the trailer, no hero dribbles into traffic. Third, a huddle captain mandate. One voice on dead balls, no crosstalk, no pointing. Fourth, bench minutes that reward pace and decision-making, not just shot-making. Coaches can send messages without quotes. Substitutions do the talking. Financially, a fine is a fine. The real currency is trust. Teammates don't forget whether you clap or cut when they miss you once. The fastest way to rebuild it is to help them score. Screen twice, crash hard, kick a touch out for a corner three. Make a teammate feel seen, and they will find you the next time they have two defenders on their hip. That's how stars lead when the cameras look for drama. Now zoom out to the league. The WNBA has been clear all year about one thing: control the optics. They don't want open floor arguments on nightly highlight reels. They don't want post-game blowtorches on officiating to become the main storyline. Chicago has been at the center of both types of clips this season. That's leverage you can use, or a spotlight you can burn under. It depends on what happens the next week. Let's talk Seattle, because that's the game everyone circled. The Storm bring length on the wings and scheme discipline that dares you to make the second pass. If Chicago's break rules are sharp, they can steal 8 points just by hitting the early window. If not, it becomes another half-court slog where frustration grows. In games like that, the smallest tell, a stare, a raised hand, a shrug, becomes a talking point. Game prep here is almost as much emotional as it is tactical. Countercase time. Some will say, it's competitive fire, leave it on the floor. There's truth in that. The best players live on a hard edge. Many have snapped in worse ways and came back stronger. But here's the difference. The Sky are a young core trying to learn how to close. Young teams copy the loudest behavior. If the loudest moment is a blow-up, you'll get more of them. If the loudest moment is a huddle that resets a broken play into a layup, that becomes the model. So what's the verdict on the fine itself? The dollar figure doesn't matter. The message does. The message is, channel it. Keep the bark for the huddle and the bite for the glass. Keep the smoke for the scouting report, not the teammate. The league can tax your paycheck. Opponents will try to tax your composure. Answer both by winning the next 2 nights. By the way, the Aces didn't win by accident. They targeted Chicago's weak spots late, ball pressure into rush decisions, tagging the roller to force tougher catches, then punishing in transition the other way. The Sky have to flip that script on this trip. Simplify the reads. Own the glass. Run early. And if the pass doesn't come, sprint through, don't stare. Save the talk for the timeout. Here's your watch list for Phoenix. Chicago's first 5 half-court possessions. How many touches for Reese within 8 feet? How many quick hits for Cardoso at the nail? How fast do the guards get off the dribble on numbers? For Seattle, turnover count by halftime and the first under 5 minutes huddle. Does the body language say reset? Or does it say here we go again? To the fans who saw the clip on loop, remember this. 10 seconds don't define a season, but they can define a week. The Sky can turn that 10 seconds into a turning point if they choose to. They can decide that the next loud sound is a horn at the end of a road win, not a teammate's name in a public bark. The final word echoes the title. A fine hits the pocket, but the real cost is attention. If Chicago pays it once and moves on with cleaner basketball, this story shrinks. If the habits stay sloppy, the cameras will be waiting for the next flare. With 2 games in 72 hours, we're about to learn whether that 10-second meltdown was a warning or a wake-up. So set the clock. Phoenix on Thursday. Seattle on Saturday. If the Sky show Parker Knight poise and Reese's glass dominance with guard control, they can write their own correction. If not, the league office won't be the only one keeping receipts. The table is set. Now it's on Chicago to decide what gets served. More drama, or a statement win when it counts.